A recipe serves exactly 4 people with 2 cups of flour. The recipe cannot be modified. Find the cost of using the recipe to feed 10 people if flour is 50 cents or half a dollar per cup. If you get a 20% discount, what is the final cost? Express as a decimal. So this word problem is asking us to solve and find several pieces of information. So let's tackle it one piece at a time. The first thing we need to note is the recipe. So we're told a recipe serves exactly 4 people with 2 cups of flour, and this is an interesting sentence right here. The recipe cannot be modified. So if we set up a ratio, we can feed 4 people with 2 cups of flour. Let's think about what this second sentence is telling us. So the recipe cannot be modified. Okay. So if 4 people can be fed with 2 cups, this ratio simplifies to 2 people can be fed with 1 cup. Right? Because we just divide by 2, divide by 2. So I think this sentence means we might be tempted to try and modify the recipe 2.5 times. If we see that the recipe feeds 4 people and we need to feed 10, we might think, well, let's just multiply this by 2.5. But we can't do that. That's what the second sentence is telling us. We cannot modify the recipe to cut it in half, for example. Okay? So, if we need to find the cost of using this recipe to feed 10 people, well, what does that mean if we cannot modify the recipe? Well, the recipe feeds exactly 4 people. So if we have 4, if this is our first batch from the recipe, a second batch would then feed 8 people, and a third batch would fit 12. Right? So first batch, second batch, third batch. Since we cannot modify the recipe, if we need to feed 10 people, we need at least 3 batches. We cannot make 2.5 batches. That's what this sentence is telling us. Okay, so we need 3 batches. Now, 3 batches. We are told that one batch of the recipe needs 2 cups of flour. So one batch needs 2 cups of flour. So 3 batches then would need how many cups? Well, 1 times 3 on top. That's what we're doing on top for the batches. So let's multiply the 2 cups by 3. 2 times 3 would be 6 cups. Okay. So 6 cups is what we need to buy to feed 10 people. Now I'm going to refresh the screen here. So we said 6 cups. Alright. Now, if 1 cup costs 50 cents, well, let's multiply 6 times a half, right? 50 cents is a half of $1. So we would have just $3, right? 6 cups at 50 cents per cup is going to be $3 total. And now we're almost done. What is a 20% discount on $3? Well, a 20% discount, right? If this is the total price and we get a 20% discount, we would be paying 80%. So what is $3 times 80%. Well, 80% is 0.8 in decimal form. 3 times 8 is 24. We have one decimal, so 2.4. And remember, this is dollars, so $2.4, $2.40. And what is the final cost? Well, that's it right there. And is it in decimal form? It is. Dollars actually has a decimal right there between dollars and cents. So we are done.